What's up, everybody? I'm former quarterback Malik Rosier, and if football, sports interviews, and having a good time interests you, then make sure to click the like and subscribe button as it really does help support this channel, and it also makes sure that you guys never miss a new video. How's everyone doing? And welcome back to another episode of Malik Rosier Show. Super excited to be here. And the guy we're going to talk about today is Cam Moore. There's a lot of hype around this guy, and the hype is real, and I think he definitely deserves it. So, the first things that we're going to go over is a couple pros and a couple cons that I personally have. I think everyone has a con when you talk about Tom Brady, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes. Everybody has it. Okay, I have it. Brad Kaya had it. Any quarterback that's going to be at Miami, you have something that you have to work on. So, going to go over both. I definitely think he has a lot more pros and cons for sure, and his cons aren't too crazy. So the pros that we're going to talk about as we go through his film is pocket manipulation. You're going to see this all over. He is great at moving in the pocket. He's great at manipulating defensive linemen and linebackers to get guys open. Off-platform throws, the ability to be running, being off-platform, because you're not always going to have a perfect pocket. You're not always going to have your feet underneath you, but being able to use different arm angles and things like that to really help you be successful is something that's definitely a new age form of football. Three, throwing downfield, you're going to see he loves throwing goes. He is really accurate at deep balls, and that's one thing that really excites a lot of people about him. And then lastly, he has a quick release. He takes underneath stuff. We're going to watch him versus Wisconsin. They run 3 down, drop 8. You're going to see him dink and dunk and then take his shot. So his ability to just take what the defense gives him is something that I think speaks volume to his maturity, to his ability to just play the quarterback position, not try to do too much, saying, hey, if you're going to drop deep and give me slants and hitches, I'm going to take it. And the one time you go man coverage, I'm going to take my shot at the go. To me, that's someone that at least understands that it's a 4-quarter game, that it's not about winning, the game on that play, but it's about winning the entirety of the game. So we're going to go into some of the cons. So the first con is ball security. And really with this one, it's more of the fumbling issue. And I think the number one way to address it or really help him is say, hey, at all points, 2 hands on the ball. You're going to see sometimes he runs with one that makes it just really easy to slap. And then also, too, I think and I'm not saying that he's out of shape, but sometimes there was like some longer drives or in the fourth quarter, you can tell he gets kind of tired. Guy comes in, hits him late after, a 10, 15-yard run, ball comes out. Okay. A lot of that is just, the physical body actually making the mind say, hey, I'm going to relax. And then guy comes in and knocks the ball late. Luckily, ball was out of bounds. We'll kind of watch that play. But fumbling has been some of his issues. Secondly, to understand now, hey, I'm with a really good team. I do not have to be a one-man army. He kind of was at Washington. He said he was doing everything. He was making plays. This guy was basically Superman for them. And obviously, I think you need a guy that can make plays, but at least with the guys around him, the offensive line, the backfield, he doesn't have to make every play for, Miami to be successful. So number 3, feet to the right. So sometimes he doesn't always turn his feet to the right. Again, it's a lot easier to get away with it to the right because it's to my throwing side. I can technically, just release my arm a little wide and I'll get there. But what it does is as you release your arm a little wider, because, if my feet's slightly behind the guy, let's say my feet's this way, but the guy's running that way, now my arm kind of has to be a little bit out wide. That's when you get some, shoulder issues and things of that nature, especially if you're throwing longer throws. It just puts a ton of pressure on your shoulder because you can't really generate power because you're probably going left, but the throw's going right. And so I think that's some stuff that can really help him. Obviously, he is super accurate, but I think it'll just help him with consistently. I think it'll help him, using more of his total body instead of just using his arm. And then number 4, and this one really isn't his fault, new teammates. He has to learn new timing, new routes, different things like that. Because each guy is going to run the route differently. Like Xavier Restrepo is going to be a lot different than Ray Ray. Ray Ray is going to be a lot different than Jacoby. Jacoby is going to be a lot different than, JoJo. And so on and so forth. That's tight ends, whether that's slots, whether that's outside. Everyone's going to run their routes a little differently. And so he has to figure out, how do they run it, what speed, how do they come out their cut, what is their angle. So just learning his teammates. Obviously, he has to learn them fast. He basically has the spring, the summer, and then early in the fall to kind of learn these guys and figure out, hey, who's fast. I'm going to say who's not, but, who's super fast. That, hey, I got to speed my feet up and make sure that I'm not behind this guy. Who's a guy that I can be a little more calm. He's a little more smooth in his route. He's not a, super speed guy. So I think that's some stuff that, that Cam Ward has to figure out. And obviously, I think the coaching staff will do a great job. I do want to, And I just want to say, great job by the entire staff this whole entire recruiting year. I know that, we flipped some guys late. There were some guys that, we thought were going to come to us that didn't. But I do think that Cam Ward was probably one of the biggest pickups that we have, because obviously the best way to be successful instantly is obviously the quarterback position. This guy is a home run guy. I do think that we have some great young guys with Emory, with Jakari, with Judd, and there's going to be obviously Luke Nichols that come in, and then we have Reese. So we have a legit quarterback room. The biggest thing that I really hope is that this is a high level competition, which I think it will be. I think that's the reason why, a lot of positions, you look at position by position outside of quarterback last year, every position improved. And the main reason why was because the competition was very, very high. And I think this year, obviously, we know we have Cam Ward as our QB1, but the four guys behind him, those guys are competing, and those guys are athletic. And some of those guys could potentially, and I don't want to say, like an Alabama or a Georgia, but there's some big D1 schools that some of these kids would be starters on. And that's the biggest thing that I want a lot of Canes fans to sit back and realize, that in some ways we are blessed because, again, Jakari playing time, Emory playing time, and those guys have beat some really good teams, some pretty good teams. So I think that's one thing that I think now that we have Cam Ward, these young guys can sit and grow and obviously take their experience from last year and kind of, move forward. I think we're actually in a really, really good spot for our quarterback room. So what I want to go over right now is Cam Ward versus Wisconsin. Um, this guy does a really, really good job of really just understanding coverage. You can tell, for the most part, they're going to go 3 down, drop 8. Okay, this is a lot of stuff that TVD saw that we kind of struggled on. If you can't tell me that, hey, what we did last year versus TVD, we're not going to at least try to do versus Cam Ward this year, I think it'd be a lie. So that's the main reason why I went into it, because I think that for the most part, people go 4 down, cover 1, or 4 down, cover 2. We're fine. But last year, for some reason, people went, 3 down, drop 8. We struggled some. And so that's the main reason why I'm watching this game, because I want people to understand that this guy understands coverage, whether it's 4 down, whether it's 3 down. So the first thing that I do like about this guy, and you're going to see this on display, really, really quick feet. He understands it. One thing that I do like, that I think that Dawson does some of, is the motion. So he sees the guy motion. Hey, when this guy motions and 24 runs across with him, now I know it's man. Okay, it just basically opened up this window where this guy was. Really good job of understanding, really that's man coverage, understanding where kind of the weakness is. Now, for a lot of people that don't know, this coverage right here is almost like a double rat. And what that means is they're playing man, but these two linebackers, all they're reading is kind of Cam Ward's odds. Okay. So a lot of times it's called one rat because they're going 3 down. These two guys are kind of, the low hole players. This is actually called like a double rat. So you're going to see they're not really playing a guy. They're playing his eyes, because they understand this guy's a little mobile. He'll run around. And obviously he does a good job of getting the ball out underneath. So they're trying to keep 2 guys underneath to kind of, discourage him from throwing these slants. But again, he understands where the holes are, who's motioning with who. So now it gives you a free lane, bam, 10-yard completion. So again, one thing that I do like about him, very quick release, you're going to see that, to me, is like a baseball pitcher turning two. When you watch him throw, it's lightning fast. He does a good job of catch, grip, throw. Like that is textbook grip and rip, get it out fast. Obviously, I don't know what makes him throw that. Basically that's on the offensive coordinator. But I do like this play right here. Super athletic by him. The ability to catch it off the hop is something that, I don't want to say I couldn't do, but it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. Here goes the pocket manipulation, running, making a play, 3rd and 13, giving his guy a chance to get the first down because he's able to move around the pocket. So again, a lot of stuff that we talked about that we really liked. Here it is again, moving, trying to get guys to move, running. I think that's one thing that I'm very interested to see how our receivers play. Tyler did run outside the pocket some, and obviously, Jakari was more of a runner, but this guy right here is a true, like, he will move probably 4 to 5 times a drive, not 4 to 5 times a game. If he has it, he'll move multiple times a game. He loves to improvise, make plays. I think that's one thing that could be interesting this year to see how that works. I think that's one thing that he just has to, trust his guys. With the offensive line, he's going to be a lot better, so he doesn't have to move as much. He should have a lot better pockets to be able to, stand his ground, go left to right instead of having, to move around is going to be something that I think could be a little different for him. But I think it's going to be good. I think it's something that is just going to show him, hey, like, I don't have to move around to beat people. Obviously I can, but I think it's something that, he is an elite passer. He can run, like you're going to kind of watch here. He has the ability to make guys miss, kind of run around. But this play right here, that's not him. He will do it, and I think he does enjoy to run the ball, but I definitely think he is more of a run to throw than a run to run. Again, really quick release. You can tell that, I mean, that guy's barely out of his break. If we can go back on that one some, which this is a really, really good timing. But I want you guys to watch. This is when you understand coverage. So he knows, hey, this is cover one man. The reason why it's cover one man is because these guys are blitzing. Okay. I mean, you can almost call this a zero because if this back goes out, either one of these guys are going to peel or their safety is going to come down. But the biggest thing that he sees is, hey, I know if it's man, this number 11 has my outside guy. So then this safety that is, I mean, 7, 8 yards off has my tight end. Let me just grip and rip, not even take a chance, ball. Like, that is a great job by him, understanding coverage, understanding what's going on and what he's doing. Now, I will say that was probably a void zone because they turned into zone. But biggest thing is he got the ball out fast. He kind of figured out, where I like my matchup, where I like my leverage, and let's go. And so to me, this is what I think Cam Ward, I think he'll get more of these types of pockets. So this is what we're going to see more of with Cam Ward, but you can still tell his ability to throw off platform. And I want you guys to watch this because it's so subtle. But this is some drills that we work with our guys. Okay, you're moving backwards almost, and all it is a close ball. Like, that to me is an off platform throw. You see his feet's not there, and like, again, you don't want him to turn his feet all the way around and throw because it's going to be very, very hard. I don't want to say hard for him, but it's going to be very hard for him to be very efficient and fast because, again, as soon as I go to turn and throw, to see this guy that's behind this running back, what's he going to do? He's going to see where my body turns and he's going to take off. The fact that he's really good off platform, is able to kind of look left, come back right, stay kind of open, close, throw. That to me is someone that, understands and really trusts himself, but has some type of fundamentals to understand that. Because I'll tell you, a lot of guys are going to want to turn and throw. This is a drill that we work with a lot of my young guys saying, hey, you're kind of looking left, you're fading back right, you turn back, and you're closing and throwing using your core. To me, that is a complete core throw because you do not have your legs. So something that's super subtle, but something that to me really stands out about his off-platform throwing ability. And he makes it look really, really easy. So some type of blitz. What I love is that, they give the motion to kind of show him. Let's see what he does. That was nice. Again, another throw off platform. Now this is one that I'll say that great ball in his ability to throw a platform, but I don't necessarily think he has to. I think this is some of the stuff that when he's at Miami, I don't want to say it's a cleanup, but he just has to trust the line more to say, hey, look, there's no one near you. You don't have to continue fade. And see how he's kind of like falling off to the left. That is a very hard throw. And I don't really care who you are. I mean, maybe the only person that I can think about is maybe Tom Brady, but I wouldn't. I'd take his bet versus Tom Brady, but there's no way you could tell me you're going to go 10 for 10 like that. Now, again, football is a game that you kind of just play off instincts, and I understand that. But especially at Miami, he's going to get good pockets. Yes, guys might, push the guys back just a little bit, but that's still a good pocket. We can stand in there, set his feet, and throw. So, again, that's just some stuff that, has happened just because of the offensive line. Again, I'm not knocking the offensive line. They're D1 guys. They're really good at what they do. But again, there are some times where, they do get a lot of pressure applied onto Cam Ward. And so I think that sometimes calls him, when he feels a little bit of pressure, I'm going to fade and throw. Obviously with our guys, he should be very, very good at not getting pressure. Now, again, we're going to go back to this one. I really like this throw. It's fast. It's decisive. He's not waiting. And that's what I love. He understands, hey, if I wait and I kind of just, sit there for a second, this play's done. But if I hurry up and snap, get everyone on the line, get everyone set, I say set, hut, ball, out, walk in, touchdown. And now the defensive coordinator, he looks dumb because there's no one out there. Again, I like the feet there. Feet weren't bad to the right on that one. There are a couple where he does throw to the right and the feet get bad. Again, when I go back through it again, love how fast his feet are. To me, this is him understanding the sense of urgency. Watch his feet. Goes right, comes back left real fast, ball. I love that. That allows this guy to catch one because he's so fast with it. These linebackers are basically looking to the right where he's going, and he quickly turning back left ball and like, oh crap, now let me turn around, redirect, and they're too late. So again, his ability to understand, when to have fast feet, when to have slow feet. Also, that's a great job by the coaching staff to really help him with that. Again, there it is again. So off-platform throw, great pocket. Now watch him. See how he's kind of fading away? Again, I don't mind it because it's an accurate ball. I just don't think that in this type of pocket, and even if you go into the NFL, you can't live like that. And I think that's one thing that I'm hoping that over time the coaching staff say, hey man, we love these type of plays. We hope that you continuously make off-platform throws when you have to. You know what I mean? If there's someone in your face, you got to make this throw cool. Or high five you, tell you you're a great quarterback, keep going. But if you have this pocket, set your feet and make the throw. Now, again, he is a super accurate guy. He's able to make this throw very easy and effortlessly. But again, I'm always like, hey, consistency. Can I go 10 for 10? Unless it's some, busted play, something happens, you're making a play, then yes, let your athletic ability, arm talent kind of take over. But the biggest thing, I always look for is, hey, can we go 10 for 10, kind of out of this setup? And I don't think he can. But again, super accurate, sticks the ball around the guy's chest. The guy can run. So at the end of the day, I don't think anyone can complain. I just don't want to consistently see him falling off. Now, again, he doesn't do it every time, which is the craziest part, because on this one, I would expect him to go left, right, kind of fade back, but he doesn't. And then there's a guy wide open coming right at him, and he stands in there. So that's my biggest thing, is that I don't want people to think that this kid is scared to take a hit, that he's doing it because no, he's not. This is a great position. He's back on that backside. You can see the L, you can see the extension out front. A lot of stuff that we talk about. This right here is a great shot of him. But I think this is something that, hopefully next year he won't have to worry as much about. Again, sticks on this guy's chest. Guy's running, man. I really do like Cam Ward. I think there's a lot of stuff that he does that is really good. And I think he just understands football. I think he's probably a film junkie, if I had to ask, because if you watch him, he's super quick. He understands what they're doing, where they're going. And to me, that's something I can at least appreciate, because I was kind of the same way, as someone that, I'd probably watch somewhere between 20 to 30 hours of film plus a week, just going through every game, situational stuff. And I think this is something for this guy to play this fast, especially talking about him gripping and ripping and just throwing to these guys. He has to understand kind of, what is Wisconsin's game plan. And I'm fine with that. But I do kind of want to go back to that. So again, this is where we kind of talked about ball security. So I know no one's really around him, but most of the time when you fumble the ball, it's the guys that you don't see on your backside. So again, he comes out. If this guy high loops, do you see how he has one hand on the ball? So for some reason, this guy high loops and gets around, which, especially when you got teams like Florida State and things of that nature, they have more high rushers than they do bull rushers. They're going to have these guys flying around the field. So again, we talk about ball security, ball in one hand, ball in one hand, ball in one hand. Guys come up, ball in one hand. More guys come up, ball in one. Like, you see what I mean? Like, again, a lot of that's just two hands on the ball. That's where he gets a lot of his fumbles from. So again, it's not like something that isn't fixable. It's not like he has this crazy, like, oh, he's two hands on the ball, right, all of a sudden just get punched out. No, it's more that I don't want to say he's careless with the ball, but again, that to me, that's something that, you watch guys like Michael Vick and OBJ and Lamar, and they're running one hand. Like, I remember, watching David Njoku, and Mark Richt was even on David Njoku saying, two hands on the ball. I don't care if you're in the NFL. Like, I mean, it's just one of those things that where, like, it's ball security. So, I think that's one thing that he definitely has to focus on. I know people were talking about, oh, like, he needs to go with like the running back group or something. No, he doesn't. He just needs to be with the quarterback group. They can go two-hand ball security. They can do it twice a week. And his biggest thing is literally two hands on the ball. Two hands on the ball. If he has two hands on the ball, he's fine. It'll be hard for him to fumble, or at least it'll be less likely for him to fumble. Again, so we talk about this with a lot of stuff. Again, when people go drop 8, and they rush 3 guys, and you can tell this is a lot of what TVD saw, a lot of this. But hey, this guy right here, this is film study. This guy's not a flyer. He's not going to fly out. He's going to kind of just sit there. My receiver, hey, I'm going to find the weak zone. Bam. I love it. You talking about now we're at 2nd and 6, and now these guys have to make a decision on what do I want to do. To me, this looks like more of a cover 1 look. They might be blitzing these guys. If they don't blitz these guys, they're probably going to play a 1 rat look. And so now you can kind of break down, there it is. It's 1 rat. These guys are all manned up. You can kind of see it. But again, go right back to it. Like, that's what I love. Like, he took it 1 play. Okay, we'll come right back to it. I'm going to take it again. Again, until you stop it, keep doing it. It's no different than playing Madden. It's a run play. Like, if it's getting you 5-6 yards, keep doing it. So I love this. This is someone that understands, hey, don't get tired of taking what they give you. Just keep taking it and taking it. And eventually they'll give you the game. Again, this is stuff I don't really like with him. Again, he is a runner, but I'm not the biggest fan of him running. But I think there's definitely times he has to do it. But again, here he understands coverage. Hey, these guys are often soft. Yeah, he's pressed, but the odds of it being a two high is unlikely. It's more of a one high. So again, if it's man coverage and this is a speed out, I have it. Even if it's cover three and this guy turns and burns, I still have it. That's what I love about this guy is he really understands football. He understands leverage. He knows where his guys are. He's going to say, hey, if you guys give me down on these stuff, I promise you I'm just going to take it all day. And to me, that's someone, especially in the ACC conference, as much man. And when people do give you those soft zones, if you're able just to take it and get them back into man, now you can work back into your goes, your, deep out routes, your crossing routes, a lot of your man beaters that are like chunk plays. But a lot of that starts with, being able to just beat these guys underneath in zone, find the holes, find, different level throws that you can do to kind of get these guys out of zone. Because, hey, man, I don't know if you guys watched it, but I did when I watched, the Bucks versus the Eagles or Dallas versus Green Bay. Those guys, for some reason, stayed in zone, and those quarterbacks just kept beating them and beating them and beating them. And that's one thing that I think Cam Lees understands is, hey, I know zone coverages. And obviously, I'm accurate enough. You guys play me a man, I can take my one-on-one on the goes and different things like that. So I think there's a lot of matchups when you talk about him being able to defeat multiple zones that he's going to give defensive coordinators a lot of headaches because which do you stay in? Do you stay in zone and allow him to basically, pick you apart? Or do you go to man coverage and now you're talking about, can my guys consistently stay with Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, those kind of guys? And so, again, I love it. He understands. He trusts his guys. Again, these are a lot of throws that I'm super excited to see. And again, this is him knowing, hey, back goes, because like let's go back to the start again. This is a lot of, I don't want to say football IQ, but it's a lot of understanding football. So we'll go Pax's play. So let's play right here. Okay. So now they're going backside slant. And Rick always had a rule, and I think it's a very good rule to live by. Okay, if this outside linebacker, there's no one from the cover, there's no tight end, there's no one from the cover. If he stays there, he's in no man's land. So you can't really throw this slant. And I'll say on top of that, I don't even know if I would throw this slant just because if he's running this slant, do you see how hard inside leverage this corner is? This corner is not giving him the inside. Now, when they play inside like that, especially with the safety right here, if there's two safeties kind of on the hash, I'll be thinking Charlie Fire. But because there's only one safety and he's right in front of me, I'm probably thinking cover one blitz. Okay, now if I'm thinking that, my biggest thing is, are both these guys blitzing or one of these guys blitzing? And this is kind of where you got to understand football and think fast. You see them kind of roll. Now he started way over there. Now he pushes. But now because he's pushing, thank you, I can take that. To me, that is understanding football. That's a guy that, knows who to key and really protects his receivers because, again, sometimes if that guy doesn't move and he stays to the left and you go to grip and rip it because it's cover one and you want to throw your slant, you're going to get a pick or you're going to get your wide receiver's head taken off. And that's at least something I can appreciate about watching this guy's film. You can tell that he's diligent in his game. You can tell that he at least understands coverage and tries to at least protect a lot of his receivers. Even like that, like he's not leading that guy into that Mike linebacker, some over back shoulder so he can catch it and protect himself. And I think that's a lot of stuff that just comes down to knowing coverage, knowing where defensive guys should be and knowing where your receivers are to say, hey, if he's going to be way inside my guys running a slant, let me put on his back shoulder so he can protect himself. So we're gonna end it there. They wound up winning, but I just really wanted to go over a lot of Cam Moore film just because I know people have been asking me about him. I do wish him the best. I will say that I am a little nervous that this guy is going to break my single season touchdown record, but I really hope that he does. I hope that he goes to the ACC championship game. I hope that he wins it. I hope that he finally gets us into the Final Four, something that I couldn't do. So I do wish the Miami Hurricanes the best. I will be at every home game. And if you guys make it to Charlotte, I'll see you guys there as well.